Okay, we are rolling. Champions of Champions boxing talk here. Well, this weekend is a pound for pound fight. You know, one of them fights that the winner you have to really, consider is that guy in particular the best pound for pound fighter in the sport. Currently, Ring Magazine has Gennady Golovkin as their number one pound for pound fighter. My question to you is, whoever wins the fight between Rigondeaux and Lomachenko, do they, in your opinion, take the throne from Triple G as pound for pound king of the sport? In my opinion, possibly, because these guys are both real high on the list. So, maybe not. It's your choice. On to the fight itself, and there's a perception about this fight which I don't kind of agree with. Number one, we all know Rigondeaux is a great boxer. We all know at times he hasn't produced what we would call sensational stylistic thunderstorms in the ring. That's why HBO really didn't, keep him around. And I think Bob Arum actually dropped Rigondeaux, if he actually had Rigondeaux in the past, and was vocally critical of Rigondeaux, and his style in particular. Rigondeaux is very difficult to hit. Rigondeaux is I think a very good counter-puncher and has a great right hand, very sharp over the top, right? He dropped Nonito Donaire, and I can't remember the other guy in the UK he fought, but that right hand broke his jaw, and the fight was over basically in no time, a couple of rounds, one or two at most, if my memory serves me right. So, you know the picture people create of Rigondeaux, don't you? They make him out to be, because he's a smart fighter, defensive fighter, good counter-puncher, good power for his size, they make him out to be Floyd Mayweather. And that he will have a Floyd Mayweather type advantage in this fight over his opponent, who I'm going to talk about, who is also compared with another great fighter, Lomachenko. Number two is Lomachenko is considered a guy that throws spectacular amounts of punches from all angles, has an energy level like very few in the sport of boxing, in fact none today, has foot movement and foot speed like Spider-Man, and places it at brilliant angles in the ring, which allows him to be in the perfect position to throw shots when his opponent is vulnerable. Right? He's also considered one of the most exciting fighters in the sport, bar none. Who are we thinking of there? Manny Pacquiao. So basically you've got Rigondeaux, who's considered Floyd Mayweather by some people's perceptions, and Lomachenko, who is considered Manny Pacquiao. The perception of the Maypac fight going back a few years now was that Manny was the warrior, the fighter, but Floyd Mayweather was the IQ, the smart boxer in there. In this fight, people believe that Lomachenko is the volume guy, the speed, the aggressiveness, the non-stop attack from many different angles, throwing punches in bunches. And Rigondeaux, as I said, is the Floyd Mayweather, the smart guy, the smarter actual boxer of the two. We couldn't be more far off the mark with that presumption right there. I'm going to say it, this is a terrible style for Rigondeaux, because I don't even believe that Rigondeaux's IQ is greater than Lomachenko's. His resume, the guys he's beaten, is not as good as Lomachenko's, right? Lomachenko, to me, in this fight, has all the advantages. I cannot see, apart from one way, that Rigondeaux wins this fight. Let's go back to Maypac. Was Floyd Mayweather not the bigger man than Manny Pacquiao? Yes, he was. That's advantage number one. Was he truly the guy with the ring IQ against Manny Pacquiao? Yes, he was. Right? Is Rigondeaux bigger than Lomachenko? No, he's not. He's coming up weight classes. So he has a size disadvantage. Right? Were Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao comparable in age that night? Yes, they were. There was a few years difference. With this, there's several years difference between Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. Right? So, Floyd had IQ advantages in terms of natural boxingness and being a master at figuring out the chessboard and creating a game plan in the ring. And a size advantage. Rigondeaux doesn't have that. Plus, Floyd Mayweather was fighting a man that was on his age level. And if there was any deterioration between the two, it was likely to be Manny Pacquiao. In this case, Rigondeaux is 37 years of age. He's not the guy he was when he beat Onito Donaire. And I believe that will be shown in the fight on Saturday. Does he have, again, no size advantage for Rigondeaux? People say, well, size does not matter. Look what Manny Pacquiao did. Let me tell you something. Size does not matter when you are superior to your opponent, right? If you are so much greater than your opponent, size does not matter. But Manny Pacquiao met a man in Floyd Mayweather who was on his level, right? Who was at the top of the tree just like Manny was. And what happened? Manny lost. When he met someone who was a match for him and also had the size advantage and was considered the counterpuncher and superior ring IQ in the squared circle, Manny lost. Right? Rigondeaux is, to me, all round the inferior fighter to Lomachenko. He's also smaller. So, for once, Lomachenko will have a size advantage over an opponent. And he will have the other advantages. Lomachenko, to me, has a better ring IQ. The difference between Lomachenko and Manny Pacquiao is this. And I'm not saying Lomachenko is a greater fighter because Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao. But Lomachenko doesn't punch as hard as Manny Pacquiao by any stretch. Thank God he doesn't. Can you imagine if he did? Right? In the weight classes he operates in. But Lomachenko switches stances. He gives you different looks. Right? He's a Manny Pacquiao that is adaptive reactive. Right? Manny Pacquiao is essentially a very good, underrated boxer. I say good, a phenomenal underrated boxer. People just think he's a slugger. He's not, right? But you generally know what sort of positions he's going to take in terms of stance in the ring. With Lomachenko, a bit like Terence Crawford, only much more volume, and a sort of Manny Pacquiao intent in the ring. And Manny Pacquiao arrogance at his prime. Right? Lomachenko switches. You can't really read what he's going to do. Manny Pacquiao's style is unpredictable. But you can read it. I know that sounds silly to say. You know something unexpected is going to happen and what it's going to be. You just can't time Manny Pacquiao when he's going to do it. But with Lomachenko, you don't know because he switches so much. And recent fights, to me, Lomachenko has been throwing punches in high volume. Left and right body shots have been real good in my estimate from Lomachenko. And he's wasted some shots also and been caught with unnecessary head clashes and the odd right hand here and there, which is preventable. But I think Lomachenko knows the level of opponent he can do that with and the level of opponent he can't let hit him with a right hand. And that guy is Rigondeaux. He knows he won't be able to let Rigondeaux, because Rigondeaux does have good power to land that right hand with frequency. But Rigondeaux is not a volume puncher. He will wait to pick the right moments. But here's what I see happening in the exchanges in that fight. We have to presume that Rigondeaux, going up in weight, has the power to bother Lomachenko. He might not. The right hands that Rigondeaux does land might not bother Lomachenko. Lomachenko might be able to walk through Rigondeaux to a certain extent. I don't think Rigondeaux will fall into that, just throwing a certain shot. He'll have to try other things. He'll have to up his game and use the speed. But can Rigondeaux use his speed and maintain it with frequency to keep Lomachenko from doing what Lomachenko does? Because Lomachenko, I see winning rounds this way. He's going to throw shots. Some of them may hit arms, but there are so many shots going Rigondeaux's way from Lomachenko that he won't be able to block them all. And some will get through and he will be outworked. And again, might not necessarily be able to read where these shots are coming from. And even shots that hit arms and graze you, if you're outworking a guy, if you're throwing punches, if you're landing the same amount, which some rounds I think might be equal early, the perception is going to be Lomachenko wins those rounds based off work rate, speed, volume, angles, getting the crowd excited because he's going to be the entertainer in the ring. And Rigondeaux might only throw one, and even if he lands it, he's been outworked and he's been equally effective in shots landed, i.e. a great right hand from Rigondeaux, but Lomachenko has landed one and basically obliterated the guy in the corner who's done everything in his book to try and stop the kitchen sink being thrown at him. Who are the judges going to favour? Lomachenko. And we're presuming, aren't we, that Rigondeaux is as great a defensive fighter as Mayweather? I don't think so. As the fight wears on, I see Lomachenko, if he is clever enough, throwing combinations, landing with sort of less frequencies than he does on other opponents because Rigondeaux is still top quality, and then being out of range before Rigondeaux can answer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Boom, 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 in the corner, stop. Lomachenko turns to his side, and Rigondeaux is prepared to throw that snake-like right hand. But whoa, where did Lomachenko go? He's bounced out of range. Rigondeaux early on will be able to land certain amounts of success in terms of the right hand. But Lomachenko, being the greater IQ, will read this, and in the end will be able to, I think, maneuver Rigondeaux onto the ropes, throw his combinations. Rigondeaux will start to tire, having to work so hard to fend off the amount of punches being thrown his way and not being able to see where they're coming from. And Can his 37 years of age legs constantly keep up with Lomachenko's? I don't think so. It's going to be boom, 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 Lomachenko here, boom, 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 Lomachenko there. Boom, boom, boom. Rigondeaux's going to think, right, now he's stopped. My chance to counter. Where is he? He's gone. Like a ghost in the night. He'll force Rigondeaux to put that guard up so high that Rigondeaux might not be able to see when he's about to launch the right hand. This fight for me is going to end in at least a unanimous decision for Lomachenko in a fight that won't be difficult to score, because Lomachenko has all the style advantages over Rigondeaux. Right? Rigondeaux, in my view, would suffer more against a parallel fighter. What do I mean by that? A fighter that does a similar thing to him and can at an elite level. If there was a Manny Pacquiao at that level, it would be much more of a threat. The least effective style, even if it's an elite one, against a Lomachenko, unless you are perfect and in the prime of your career, which Rigondeaux is not, is a style that is low volume, defensive, and may actually give the perception that they are not working for every minute of every round in the ring. That's dangerous to them where the judges are concerned, where we're concerned, right? So, it's not an easy... I could be way off on this. It's not an easy night for Lomachenko. I'm not saying that. But it will become easier as the fight goes on. I would not be surprised as well if Rigondeaux cannot hurt Lomachenko, because Lomachenko is the bigger man in this fight. Maybe Lomachenko will KO Rigondeaux. Maybe Rigondeaux, being the smaller guy, will not be able to take some of Lomachenko's power punches. He's not known as a concussive puncher, Lomachenko, but accumulation mounts up on his opponents and eventually they're taken out there. They just don't know what to do. They're overwhelmed by this guy. But those were bigger guys than Rigondeaux, so they could survive punishment for so long. Maybe Rigondeaux can't. Maybe the first power shots that Lomo lands really affects Rigondeaux. We don't know how well he absorbs these punches coming up in weight. But we could safely presume that the bigger man is going to be able to take the smaller guy's punches pretty well. And I don't think there'll be many of them thrown. I see Lomachenko throwing that much kitchen and sink electricity at Rigondeaux that Rigondeaux goes into a shell. I don't think this is going to be a classic by any stretch of the imagination. I don't. But I know where my prediction lies, and I'm staking my reputation on it. When this fight was signed, and I'm giving Lomachenko credit if he wins, because Rigondeaux is still a great fighter. But when this fight was signed, I thought, sign me up. I know who's going to win this fight. Boxing is a strange sport, but I'm 99% certain that Lomachenko wins this fight. It's his fight to lose. It really is. Rigondeaux is not going to be the ring general. He's not going to be the guy throwing the punches. He's not going to be the guy really majorly switching the fight up and changing angles. If something doesn't work for Lomachenko in this fight, he can change it. He can adapt. He can even perhaps rough Rigondeaux up with strength and size. Go to the body, wear him down. If the boxing is not really, the two fighters when they're at range or the center of the ring and in the pocket, when the two are in exchanges, if Lomachenko is not having the success that I think he's having, he could throw caution to the wind. It's sort of get that shoulder in there, push Rigondeaux to the ropes, and doing Ricky Hatton on him. You know, throw leather. Make it a real brutal, ugly contest. He has all these options. Rigondeaux, for me, has won. Hoping the right hand lands early, stuns Rigondeaux, makes Rigondeaux doubtful to do what he usually does, i.e. volume, and hurt him. I think Rigondeaux has got to go for the KO early in this fight. Try and catch Lomachenko cold and hope that Lomachenko comes in the ring as arrogant in this fight as he has in a few of his others. But as I've said, because he's aware of Rigondeaux's quality, he's not going to do that. So that's what I believe. Lomachenko will win this fight. It's one of the easiest stylistic matches that I've actually predicted. If you go through the rest of my videos, you'll see elements of doubt. There's 1% element of doubt in this fight for me. And that half of that doubt is how Lomachenko comes to the ring. But I doubt he's going to disrespect Rigondeaux. I think we'll see a smart Lomachenko in there. One that won't throw shots and then get clipped. He'll throw shots and he won't be there to get clipped. Not when we get past round 4 anyway. And if Rigondeaux's punches is getting no respect whatsoever, well, it's game, set and match for him, as far as I'm concerned. So it's a Lomachenko win. And it's significant for the pound-for-pound list. I don't think it's going to be a great contest. But for the boxing fans, this is what it's all about. Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. I'm out.